Alright, so there is this anarchist on Twitter named Fat Controller who has been sending me all of these really crappy memes. And I made a video reaction to it, and this individual didn't take too kindly to that. I think they might have sort of a hate crush on me at this point because they've made several posts and even a couple of videos calling me out. On the one hand, I'm honored, Fat Controller. I am honored that you're calling me out. I feel special. You're giving me a lot of attention here. So, you say Dankey Kang denied that this was a 1925 photograph of a Soviet socialist gulag. Alright, I never denied that this was a gulag photograph. I just said we didn't have a source for this. We didn't have a context for this. So, it could have been a gulag, it could have been anything. It could have been a guy showing a bunch of people his dick, for all we know. Now, you say instead he claimed it was more likely some guy showing his dick to a bunch of people. This is the equivalent of Eastern Holocaust denial. Ban him now. Alright, I didn't say it was more likely some guy showing his dick to a bunch of people. The point I was trying to make here, friend, is that if we don't have a source for this photograph, it could literally be a photograph of anything. And I was trying to make a tongue-in-cheek joke because this guy looks like he's holding his trench coat open in front of this whole crowd of people. I thought it'd be funny if I cooked up a scenario where he was flashing them. But clearly, Fat Controller doesn't share my sense of humor. It says, not surprising that you label someone with a better ideology as mentally ill. After all, this is what Soviet socialists and National Socialists did. If it ain't intersectional, it ain't anarchy, bigot. Well, first of all, I wish you'd stop comparing us to Nazis, because there's nothing Nazi about me, friend. I hate Nazis. I'm about as far away from a Nazi as you can get. And I didn't label you mentally ill. In the description of my video, I said, if you are mentally ill, I hope you get some help. I was trying to be nice. And the reason I say you're mentally ill, or you might be, is because you give me this link in almost every post you make, where you're describing the coronavirus as a contrived and pre-planned event. It was a global pandemic exercise organized by Bill and Melinda Gates and Johns Hopkins University. You go on to talk about fucking psychic mind control, the Vegas response, and you talk about Pokemon and that episode of Pokemon featuring Porygon where all those kids had seizures. And what does this have to do with coronavirus? What does this have to do with mind control? What does this have to do with anything? I don't know. That's why I'm saying, if you're mentally ill, I hope you get some help. And, if you're mentally ill, I hope you tell me, because I'm not about making fun of mentally ill people. That's not what I want this channel to be about, and that's not something that I would feel comfortable with doing. So if you're mentally ill, let me know and I'll back off. I don't want to make light of that at all. And that's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm trying to do here on this channel. Then you say, we all know that communists hate the disabled. There's no place for them in the workers' paradise. There's no union for us, only disdain from bigots like Dankey Kang who are actually political capos. Alright, not one time on this channel have I ever said anything disparaging towards the disabled. Right? I have great compassion for the disabled. And they absolutely do have a place in the workers' paradise. Of course, calling it a workers' paradise I think is a little bit of a misnomer. To say that the dictatorship of the proletariat is a paradise, I think is utopian. We can't lie to ourselves about the material challenges of building a dictatorship of the proletariat. But all that is to say, all that aside, disabled people certainly have a place in Soviet society. You say, just because you're, meaning me, I'm not trained in the Greek classics doesn't make us mentally ill. Dankey Kang, you bigot. Download available Gnosticism and the Material Demi-Urge, an anti-authoritarian anarchist guide. This seems like a theory book, ladies and gentlemen, that I will probably never read. Now, apparently the ancient Greeks played a shit ton of Dungeons and Dragons. He says, above, a Greek 20-sided dice, believed to be used for determining membership into clubs and secret societies. Now, I don't know how the archaeologist determined that this particular dice was used for determining membership into clubs and secret societies. It's kind of a leap to say that, alright, we've got a 20-sided dice, this must mean they were doing evil cult rituals or something. That's why I am, sort of going out on a limb and taking a wild guess and saying you might not be very mentally sound, friend. Call it a hunch. You send me the same thing, but I'm actually honored. I'm honored right now because you actually took the time out of your day to create 2 videos dedicated towards me. So this is the first one, Dankey Kang, Communist Holocaust Denial of the Gulags. First of all, I just have to say I've never denied the Holocaust on this channel. In fact, I've ranted against Holocaust denial. So to say that I'm a Holocaust denier is slander. You're slandering me. There's a lot of freaks out there. And let's just look at this dank meme sent my way. So what is government? This is an old black and white picture, a Soviet socialist gulag. Now, it's just a guy in a coat standing in front of a bunch of people. You can't really make out really what this is. This could be an army. This could be a crowd of people. This could just be a guy showing all these people his dick, for all we know. This could just be a guy showing... So he said, Soviet socialist gulags that Dankey Kang claims never existed. Now, first of all, let's address this. I never claimed that the gulags never existed. I don't think anyone claims that the gulags never existed. Like, what planet are you living on, fat controller? Now, do I think that the gulags existed? Absolutely. And I know that they weren't great places to be. I know that it was a horrible system to have. I'm not praising the gulag system. You can criticize the Soviet model. You can criticize their use of gulags without comparing them to the Nazis, without saying that they are literally as bad as the Nazis. All these people his dick, for all we know. This could just be a guy showing all these people his dick, for all we know. This could just be a guy showing all these people his dick, for all we know. Oh my god, why does he keep having me repeat that line? That's... Dude. Like, that's gotta be more annoying for you than it is to me, because, like, you're the one who had to put this video together. You probably heard me say that line, like, dozens of times by now. It's probably drilled in your brain. Me saying, this is probably a guy showing people his dick for all we know. Do you hear that line when you, like, close your eyes and go to sleep at night? This could just be a guy showing all these people his dick. For the disdain of the communist pig. Alright? All we know. This could just be a guy showing all these people his dick. For all we know. This could just be a guy showing all these people his dick. Stop having me repeat it! Jesus Christ! Oh man. This is just... Like, I feel like I've found someone from a different planet, almost. For all we know. Welcome to Earth, fat controller. So, yeah, I mean, these are just, like, black and white pictures of what I assume to be gulags. This one's very low quality. Look at that, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, once again, we don't have a context for this. We don't have sources. We got this very low res map of the USSR. These are all the gulags. Now, and am I saying that all these pictures aren't pictures of the gulag? I mean, no, but once again, my same complaint with the first picture, the one where I say it's the guy showing everyone his dick, that complaint still stands with all these pictures. We don't have the context for this. We don't know where these pictures came from, alright? You're just showing me these old black and white pictures, alright? Like this. Like, this could have been from, like, a public dam construction. This could have been the aftermath of a flood. This could have been right after the Battle of Stalingrad. We don't know. Well, maybe you do, but I don't know. Yeah. He says National Socialist equals Soviet Socialist. I don't know why anarchists are obsessed with this grift, but yeah, it's not accurate at all. You know, I challenge Fat Controller to, you know, read some books, maybe some history books, and discover who it was that actually defeated the Nazis. You know, spoiler alert, it was this dude. It was the socialists. But I'm doubly honored because he made another video. It's Dankey Kang demonstrates the universal stupidity of all communists. So, I guess I do. This, we're going down the mind of madness right here. We're looking deep. Psychological operations and psychonautics. So this was me looking at his weird blog. Psychosomatics involves nocebo and placebo and the vagus response. You know, I think I'm gonna need a vagus response after this. I'm gonna need to go to Vegas and hit the slots and clear my head after watching this crap. Hey, look at what we got here, a fucking comedian, Private Joker. He says, no, it is just that you are an uneducated piece of communist dirt, Dankey Kang, or whatever you call yourself. Vegas, not Vegas, not Vegas, is the Roman god of mazes. He, like Janus, who he is associated to, is twin-faced. He leads to vagueness. Alright, cool, dude. You schooled me on Roman mythology. Congratulations. It still doesn't mean that your crazy whack-ass blog is any more valid. Apotropaic mazes, which are protective, are often found outside gates to prevent entry. Janus is the god of gates. What does this have to do with anarchism? What does this have to do with the gulags? This doesn't have anything to do with anything. I think you call yourself a psychonaut, okay? And as someone who has dabbled in that field myself, I think you have taken a heroic dose, my friend, and you've gone way too far off the deep end. You've talked to the machine elves, and they've imparted their wisdom on you. Congratulations for that. But for all the normies who are stuck here on planet Earth, we can't make heads or tails of what the fuck you're trying to say here, with your weird little mazes and your double-faced Roman gods. What the fuck is this, man? Maybe I should take some mushrooms and then it'll all make sense. Basically, Dankey Kang, the practical upshot is this: don't involve yourself in things you don't have the one, knows, or two, education to understand. You illiterate communist barbarian. You guys were better off stealing German lavatories for automatic potato washers. Did that happen? Was that a thing? Alright, somebody's gonna have to hit me up in the comments, let me know if this was actually a thing. Did communists steal German toilets and use them to wash potatoes? Did that happen? And, you know, if I'm illiterate, then how come I've read all these fucking theory books, friend? You know, I think I'm doing pretty good for someone who's illiterate considering all the fucking books I've read. Now, alright, just because I don't read books about, like, two-headed Roman gods and weird mazes of the mind doesn't mean that I'm uneducated. I just think I'm, you know, learning stuff that's a little bit more pertinent to real life. You know, maybe the machine elves haven't given me an education, but Marxist.org has. All that said, though, I do appreciate these videos. I mean, I do appreciate the shout out. I appreciate the effort that you put into making these. It kind of blows my mind that you would put this much effort into making a video that is pretty much just proving my point. But, you know. Okay. Okay, you throw out this picture again. Look, they both have their arms raised. That means they're both Nazis. Alright, so, yeah. That was pretty weird. But you actually have sort of a disclaimer. You say, I am an anarcho-libertarian survivalist who was attacked for my free-thinking views online by several communists for challenging them about the crimes of communism, specifically against anarchists. They did not take too kindly to it and produced this film in which they dodge around the topics I brought up for 7 minutes, displaying their lack of knowledge and education about history and political economy. Command centralized communists and capitalists are a different binary, oppositional sides of the same yin-yang coin. Defeat them, set them against each other. No more oligarchical, collectivist, continuous warfare between Oceania and Eurasia. Alright, I think this person might have read George Orwell's 1984, and maybe they took too many mushrooms while they were doing it, and they actually believe they're in the universe of 1984. They actually believe they're living on Airstrip 1. Well, I got something to tell you, Fat Controller, and you're going to be pleased to hear this. But Big Brother isn't real, alright? 1984 is a book of political fiction. Alright, it didn't actually happen. So you don't have to worry about warfare between Oceania and Eurasia. Wow. Yeah. Pretty great stuff.